Hello there, and welcome to another edition of Watch Jim Taste Wine at 9:30 a.m. It's kind of ridiculous, right? But I do what I got to do for you. And what we're trying to tell you about this week is the fact that wine club members, drum roll please, your wine club wines are now ready to pick up. So this is your formal announcement, and you'll soon see that in writing in the form of an email. That email will also come with notes about the 12 different wines we have to choose every month. 12 wines. It's quite a chore, but it's a fun one, obviously. To find those 12 wines, I'll bet you we taste about 100, 150. And we're tasting them with good, knowledgeable vendors who already are aiming correctly at what we will probably like when they come upstairs with a big bag full of wine. And so, with their education, with their awareness of what works at the Wine Steward, with our careful palates, with a big spit bucket, with good stemware, with note and paper, we arrive at 12 wines to give you every month. Well, not all of you get all 12. As a matter of fact, there is somebody out there who is a member of all 6 of our monthly wine clubs, but many of you are in fact in 1, 2, or 3 clubs, and there are 6. Each club gets 2 bottles a month. Club members get 10% off everything they buy here. And most importantly, you are subjecting yourself to an adventure. Even though only one of our wine clubs is called the Wine Adventure Wine Club, you could really call all 6 of these clubs adventurous. A experience where you are signing up, you are volunteering to be shown things you've never heard of or had before, often small production wines, often organically grown, carefully made, and just wonderful things that are distinctively good that are obviously not what you had from us last month. That's the thing. When you sign up for a wine club at a winery, and more power to them, they need your business too, you're buying into sameness, that's a safe thing to do. And yet it can get tiring after a while. Oh, here's another pack from so-and-so winery. Oh, look, it's another Pinot. I love Pinot, but come on, let's mix it up. This club, our 6 clubs, just by design, expose you to things from all over the place and all over the world, depending on the club. So let's talk about some of the club wines that we're giving our members, our hundreds and hundreds of members. Let's double those numbers, shall we? Can we please? It would really help the Wine Steward and help more people learn more about wine. Let's show all you wine club members and customers who will also be able to access these wines for a little while. Let's show you some of the wines that we're having this month. Well, one of them's in disguise, and that is in fact how I first tasted this wine when Felipe, one of our favorite vendors, came upstairs and said, "Jim, you've tasted this before. This time you're going to have it blind. I want you to try it objectively." So he takes wine out of the bag. Actually, he leaves it in the bag, pours it for me. So this is a reenactment here. Obviously, I know what's in there, but I'm going to try to pretend I don't. I swirled and I sniffed very carefully, as I always do. I pondered, I looked very serious. And I got kind of a rugged smell, kind of a sun-spanked or sun-baked smell, if that makes any sense. In other words, this smells like it was grown in a warmer area. And I started to guess, are we in southern Italy? Actually, this tastes or smells a lot like Greece. And then I gave it to my palate. Could be southern Italy. It's got the warm-hearted fruit and, like I said before, a little bit sun-drenched, sun-baked, if you will. But man, it's delicious. I'm guessing I'm having a $15 or $20 bottle of wine here. I'm guessing, I don't know, it's from Greece. I don't know. I didn't know you sold any Greek wines, Felipe. And so he pulls this out. And it's a very familiar label to me. In fact, I think I got to visit this winery a long time ago, so shame on me for not recognizing it. But this is Flaco Cabernet Sauvignon. It's Cab. It's Cabernet from a rather uncab-like place. This is from an area of Spain south of Madrid, closer to Toledo. And, okay, of course it's Cabernet. Well, now that makes perfect sense, now that I can see the label. Try it again. This is good wine. How much is it? Tells me the price. Whoa, Tuesday Night Wine Club, you're getting this. You're going to love it. This is Cabernet. You guys like Cab. And it's very appealing. It's got beautiful fruit, but it's also, like I said, it's sun affected in a good way. It's got a little sunburn on it. I like it. This is good. A little like Bordeaux too, but obviously from a warmer place. I had that part right. Toledo, Spain, not really a chilly place. Flaco Cabernet to the Tuesday Night Wine Club. Now we know what it is. And even you non-members can get it, but you members will be getting it at 10% off. So that's a nice benefit, right? You scratch our back, we scratch yours. Let's show you Wine Adventure Wine Club members what you're going to get. As I mentioned earlier, the wine club members called Wine Adventurers are asking us to take them on a world tour, show you wines from all over the place. Red wines, 2 bottles of red a month from anywhere but here. In other words, not domestic. So the Wine Adventure Wine Club will access Europe, Southern Hemisphere, anywhere but here. This time, we're giving you something that you've enjoyed before. We haven't done Belesos in several vintages, but you've had Rioja probably 2 or 3 times this year already because you love Rioja. We've realized that Rioja resonates. And so let's see how this is doing. It was open 2 days ago. Now, nearly all Rioja is based on a Tempranillo grape. If it's a red wine, it's going to be Tempranillo plus sometimes other things. And in fact, this is 95% Tempranillo. And I think there is a little bit of Graciano in there. Let's see. Yes, there's Masuelo. Masuelo is another name for Carignan. And then Graciano figures into it in the form of maybe 2 or 3%. So Graciano is a native to Rioja. It's a grape that we don't talk about all that often, but it's often an ingredient of Rioja. It kind of darkens it. It kind of has the Petit Verdot effect of the way Petit Verdot affects a Napa Valley Cabernet. All you need is a little bit to darken and add mystery to the nose. Well, that's what Graciano does to a good Tempranillo. Fact of the matter is, though, farmers used to have a hard time selling their Graciano. And this may be, in fact, why it's called that name. Just imagine an old farmer pulling up his cart to a winery and saying, hey, would you like to buy these grapes? And the answer was, gracias, no. So that could be just a cute rumor, but that may be why Graciano was named that way. At any rate, Belesos, I'm using my list today because we are in Castilla, the northern part of there, almost verging on Basque Country, trying 95% Tempranillo plus Masuelo plus Graciano. Gracias, no. Oh boy, you're gonna like this. 2 days ago, this was open, and it's singing. What does that tell you? That even though this wine is pricing, I think for wine club members under $20 with their discount, this guy can age for a while. Man, dark plum and the requisite tobacco that you get from a lot of Riojas. We're often using the tobacco reference. It's happening here, kind of like tobacco leaf or like a damp cigar wrapper. Very appealing. It doesn't sound appealing, but it is in this nose. Very sensuous feel, medium body, silky. It will go wonderfully with game and duck and lamb, of course. That's what the Spanish would do. Any roasted meats and stews, perhaps. Great for a rainy night like tonight might be. Belesos, Rioja. You're back. It's good to see you. Rioja Alavesa is the area of far northern Rioja. In fact, that is Basque country, we can call that. You see street signs in both Spanish and in Basque around those parts. Good wine, really good wine. Belesos, thank you. Let's travel not too far away from Spain, head a little bit west and south, and go to southern Portugal now for a white wine that we just discovered. Our friend Guillaume, ironically a French guy who's our wine vendor, his company has now ventured into Portugal to find a few good things. This is brilliant wine. This is called Barancoa or Barançoa. I don't speak Portuguese, so I apologize for butchering the name, but that's just the nickname for the wine. And it contains 3 grapes, 2 of which I've never heard of before, and that's the fun thing about this Wine Adventure Club, or this is the White Wine Club, but all the clubs take us on an adventure, don't they? Antovas, hope I said that right. Arinto, I've heard of that one. Syria is the 3rd grape. What are these? It's much easier to drink this wine than to pronounce its names. So why don't we do that? We'll just shut up and sip. White Wine Club, you are getting this Portuguese white along with another white wine. Actually, that'll be a Pinot Gris from Oregon made by our friend Adam Webb. I'm not going to pour that for myself yet. Excuse me. Woo! Wow. A little bit of lanolin, wax flower kind of, just daisy petals, and tropical fruit. You can tell there's no oak used here. It's very clean. I have a feeling Jeff is going to order 6 bottles of this. He likes this kind of wine. Very fresh, lively, clean, crisp, but just a little more enriched with a tropicality, a tropical fruit effect. And I think that's because we're in Alentejo. Alentejo is the southern part of Portugal and inland. And it's actually, incidentally, where nearly all the grapes produced, or all the corks produced in the world come from. This is cork country, and it's also the country of Alicante Bouschet. I know that's a grape that originally came from the south of France, but they grow a lot of Alicante, that red-fleshed grape, in Alentejo. This is a rare Alentejo white, at least rare for us. First time we've ever clubbed one. Wow, that's fun. Very fresh, very drinkable. I've already shown this bottle to the staff, and they're on board. They like this wine a lot. Let's get safer. Let's get more domestic. Not too safe, though. Excuse me, though. I must cough. All right. Pardon me. Okay, not too safe, but safe. Why safe? Because we're domestic. We're now heading for the Alexander Valley of California. What's the unsafe part? Unsafe for some of you. Some of you are still afraid of a particular variety called Merlot. Whoa, don't back away. It's all right. You're not going to be killed of wine poisoning or something just because you're drinking Merlot. But we insist that you drink this one. The California Wine Lovers Club gets domestic wine every month. 2 bottles of domestic. I know it's called California Wine Lovers, probably should be called the West Coast Wine Club because we frequently show you Washington and occasionally Oregon as well. But most of the time it's California. And this, in fact, is from the Alexander Valley, which is a fantastic place for Merlot. Cabernet and Merlot are terrific here. Silver Oak's other Cabernet comes from the Alexander Valley. So here, well, you could say, Alexander Valley smells like something, whether it's Merlot or Cab. It's a smokier, dark smoke, sweet smoke aspect. And no, that's not from the fires. That's what Merlot happens to do here. It just is really soothing. It's very appealing. Kind of roasted herb and super dark plums, like darker than the Rioja we were just talking about. This is a beautiful wine. We wine geeks throw around the term balance a lot. We say, oh, wine might be elegant or well balanced. That means it doesn't stick out too far in any one direction. This wine is mild, it's rich enough, it's not over the top, it's fruity enough, it's not uber fruity or ridiculous with fruit. It's got savories, it's got a lot of things. It is balanced. It doesn't, none of these qualities stick out too far in this beautiful Merlot called Embankment. It's the first time we've ever carried one from them. Embankment Merlot, I'm sure, will be a favorite once people get over the fact that it's freaking Merlot, right? I can't use the real term that Miles used in the movie Sideways, but it is a family show after all. Let us show you a couple of wines that are heading for the the World Class Club. World Class Club is kind of like the Wine Adventure Club, except you're getting better stuff. You're paying more for that club. Every month it's $69.99, including tax. And you're getting 2 bottles of almost always red and almost always foreign. Almost always. We're about to break the always rule in just a minute, but first let's take you to an area near Priorat, Spain. Near Priorat. There's an area surrounding Priorat called Montsant. We've given you wine from there as well, but we're actually heading to the neighbor to the south called Terra Alta. A good way to roll your R's. Terra Alta is actually higher than Priorat in elevation. It is beautiful place. It's ridiculous topography, old vines, and this wine from Celler Pinyol, and I'm sorry I don't speak Catalan because that's the going tongue around there. But Celler Pinyol is the producer. I got to visit it way back in 2010, I think it was. Man, it's kind of like homecoming. This wine, it's been off our radar for so long, and then Felipe, good old Felipe, he scored 2 wine club wines this month. Brought this upstairs. Actually, he scored 3. We're about to. Felipe's a lucky man this month. Pinyol. This uses 2 of the grapes that are very traditional for the area. It uses Garnacha, Grenache, and Carignan, if you want. And remember over in Rio how they call it Masuelo, and they lisp. So here is Porto Tinto, which includes a grape that's not native to the area, but kind of a visitor, but you're seeing more and more Syrah added to the blends. Just rounds things out. So it's about about 1/3 each. And what's cool about this wine is it's a 2016, so it's entering what I call phase 2 as far as development. I don't really like phase 3 wines. I don't like it when the fruit has totally faded off and all you're doing is being nice by saying that the wine that your friend opened for you that is 20 years old is actually like, you know, you're trying to say nice things, but you just can't. This wine is fruitless. It's, wow, it's so old. How cool. No, that's not cool. I like this wine because it's starting to go in that direction, but it's retaining its fruit. That's what I call phase 2. Bold, dark. There are qualities of maybe a 2016 Chateauneuf du Pape happening in this. Really rugged, dark, bold, brawny. The 16s from Chateauneuf were big. This wine from a area that is just as warm, another Mediterranean area, is doing something like that. Syrah, Garnacha, Grenache to you and me. And then we've got Carignano, which adds this earthiness to the wine. You want to do this with anything with smoke on it or in it. You want to go straight to the grill and grill something, or barbecue is even better. So a long cooked piece of meat will be amazing with this. You need smoke with this wine. It's a powerful wine. Please do me a favor and eat with it, okay? Wow, that's a powerhouse. What else is the World Class Wine Club getting? This is the rule breaker. In other words, you anticipate foreign wine every month, but once in a while we give you something unusual but domestic. Unusual because we don't really give Syrah to our Red Collector Club. That's a club that normally gets Cabernet and Merlot and the like. That's our top, most expensive club, we should call it. The World Class Club often, well, once in a while, gets a domestic wine using a variety that we simply can't give the Red Collector Club members, or don't feel too good about doing that very often, at least. This is a brand new brand called Gust. Gust as in gust of wind, all right? It comes from the Petaluma Gap, and it is made by the Klein sisters. So Megan and Hillary Klein are they're not tired of riding on the coattails of the parents who have operated Klein Winery for many decades, and now these daughters are taking on that responsibility, but they want to have their own project. The family long ago bought property in the Petaluma Gap area. That's east of like Roanoke Park and Cotati, up in the hills back there. And they've more recently planted Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, and thank goodness somebody's still planting Syrah, because they did it. And when I was shown the Pinot and Chardonnay, I said, I like these wines, we'll take them. I want to represent a wine that's for new kids on the block, but these are lovely daughters that I've gotten to meet before, and it's kind of cool that they're starting this project. I want to support it. The wines are really good. I wouldn't support it unless the wines were good. But when this Syrah was uncorked for me, the last of the 3 that I was tasting, I got excited because I like that area. I like cool weather Syrahs a lot. And I pour them in a glass like this, and man, this wine, I've just opened it, as you saw, it is singing. Woo! Talk about cured meats. It's got that cured meat quality and black olive and violets. And yes, there's fruit as well. There's definitely blackberry fruit going on. It's a lot of wine. It is world-class wine from Petaluma Gap, California, made by the Klein sisters. Good job, ladies. You are not going to complain about getting a domestic wine in the World Class Club this month. Not with this wine. You will not. Gust. Get to know it. Try the Chardonnay. Try the Pinot Noir. You'll like those too. All right, real quick. We're breaking all kinds of rules this month, but that's the fun of wine diversity, right? Because I just told you that the Red Collector Club typically gets Cabernet, Merlot, or blends thereof. Goes to Washington State, spends a lot of time in the Napa Valley or in Sonoma. Well, this time we're going to Ballard Canyon, which is down in the Sideways country, aforementioned Sideways country. Ballard Canyon is where Stolpman is. Remember Stolpman Winery that we do an event with every year? This is a neighbor to Stolpman. I can't tell you who owns this property, but the same people who own a very fancy, very expensive place up in the Napa Valley. Starts with an S. There's 2 names. Starts with an S, starts with an E. Rhymes with seagull, like Screeching Seagull or something like that. They also own Jonata. Jonata is breaking the rules a little bit because the Red Collector Club is in fact getting a wine this month that is 60% Syrah. Okay, sorry, you're not going to complain. What you folks like is dark and rich, and we've done this in the club before and you loved it. So here comes Jornada Todos again, 60% Syrah. It's called Todos because it's very inclusive with its grape variety list. It includes like 10% Cab Franc, 10% Cabernet Sauvignon. Wait, Syrah with Bordeaux varieties? Yeah, but that's not all. Petite Syrah is in there. I think there's even some Viognier in there, and I'm probably missing one or two grapes. Todos, it's got it all. It's inclusive. It's a delicious red from Ballard Canyon, the land of Stolpman, by the folks who own Screeching Seagull or something like that. But you didn't hear it from me. Finally, let's tell you about one more wine, and then I'll tell you why this cheese is sitting here. Minor Family, we just gave you the Cabernet in your Red Collector Club maybe, 3 months ago. Well, here comes that scary wine again. It's Merlot, but come on, you love Minor Family, and you're gonna feel pretty safe about approaching this Merlot, I think. It is beautiful. Minor Family Merlot is the other bottle in the Red Collector Club this month. So get in on that. And why is this cheese up here? It kind of brings us back to bottle number 1 that we started with, because Don and Kathy and I have tried this cheese with this wine and found a really nice hookup. This is La Muse Gouda. We've carried it for a couple of years now. It ages for 2 years, not at the store, but in Holland. And it becomes, it achieves the consistency of perhaps Parmigiano from Italy. Really hard and even a little bit crystalline like Parmigiano would have. Parmigiano cheese, Parmigiano Reggiano, you know. And it's intense. It's not the least expensive cheese we sell, but you don't need to eat as much because of all the water that is evaporated out of the cheese over those 2 years of aging. It is very concentrated, intense, and delicious. So you want to eat little bits of it. I can't really cut this, slice it with a knife, so I just put a blunt knife into it and turn it and make what I call rocks or chunks of this beautiful La Muse Gouda. Goes amazingly with Flaco Cabernet, and it also does very, very well with riper wines. Riper meaning more domestically forward fruited wines. This is fully ripe, of course, but it's also got that kind of rustic edge. And if you were to have this cheese with perhaps the Minor Family Merlot, a much more domestically oriented wine in its flavors and cushy feel, I'm sure it would work there too. So get in on this cheese, do a little cheese and wine pairing this month. Thank you to all of you, hundreds and hundreds of wine club members. Thank you to all of you who are considering joining our wine club. As you can imagine, even in the slow months, the regular monthly ring for the club is a very anticipated thing for our business, helps us a lot, keeps us downtown, and we want to stay downtown. So keep us here. Join another club if you're a member, if you'd like, and we'll find you some more good wine. If you're not a member yet, please consider. We are not giving you sameness, we are giving you diversity. You are signing up for an adventure. Thanks so much. Have a fantastic weekend. Wine club members, come get your stuff.